We got Ashley, Mika, and Becky. Three classy women, but they mouth so reckless, mouth so reckless, mouth so reckless, but they mouth so reckless, mouth so reckless, mouth so reckless.
Doesn't out Pluto.
I don't. I mean, okay.
Police. Do you want me to just do mine?
No.
She gonna do hers. Shit, and put this over here before the wallet gets lost, cause she set it on the damn controller.
On a controller.
Air conditioner.
Okay, well, so this is episode number 2, y'all. And the topic for today is
On what?
the topic for today is
On what?
the LGBT community.
It's something else. LGBTQ.
No,
what I was saying is mouth so reckless. You're supposed to say.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, mouth so reckless,
Mouth so reckless.
Mouth so
reckless.
How you doing? How your mama doing?
How your daddy doing?
How your children doing? Okay. Well, the topic for today is.
Can we speak up a little bit? You sound like you.
Because I don't feel good.
1-800.
Oh wow, no, she didn't.
1-800.
Oh, I already got a sore throat. These bitches want to make me catch strep throat. Okay, well.
The term bitch enduring.
So, the topic for today is the LGBTQ community and just
takeover.
Right, and just the force feeding of the whole situation. I'm definitely not okay with that. So let me explain the force feeding that I mean.
First of all, let's talk about what the LGBTQ. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, LGBT.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual,
That's
trans,
what I said.
Queer.
Yeah.
Trans and queer.
I was just trying to
That's what it is. For the people that don't know.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I guess maybe some people don't.
Because some people don't know what that stands for.
Okay. So I just want to talk about the fact, I get, that they're different, and that's fine. Have your sexual preference or whatever you want to do. I personally just have a problem with a few, specific things. For one, being all gender bathrooms. That makes me uncomfortable.
So
are y'all comfortable with having all gender bathrooms?
No, I'm not, and I don't think it has actually taken place in any of the states yet. I know it's going to take place.
Oh, it's taking place where I live in the college that I was going to. They have all gender bathrooms.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
So have you actually seen a transgender come in the bathroom?
No, but I mean, obviously, if it's for all genders, they will be coming in. It makes me uncomfortable because you still have a penis. And I just, I'm not feeling that. I feel like, it's not a thing is where the black community went through as far as liberating ourselves from the stigma of having a different bathroom. It's not the same thing. So you chose that. So,
to be gay
or you chose to be transgender. That's a choice. You're not born that way. So I don't.
So that's the thing that I kind of go up and down with because I have some friends that are gay. My son's godmom, she's a gay woman. She's been gay for her whole life. And she could tell me that she's never, ever recalls ever having a crush or anything towards a man.
That's fine.
And she says she remembers as being, a little girl at 5 years old, having crushes on her mom's friends and stuff like that, or, other girls and stuff like that. She's never been with a man.
Okay.
She doesn't ever want to be with a man.
So does she want to go pee in the men's bathroom now?
No, she doesn't want to do that. But what I'm saying is, because
we're not talking about gays and lesbians. We're strictly talking about transgender.
Well,
I thought we're talking about.
Okay, you can be
LGBTQ.
gay, but I'm talking about the transgender as far as they make their plight, compared to the women's rights movement and the civil rights movement. So they want to be, I guess treated equal as they should, but that's still a choice.
I definitely
to do that. Being black is not a choice.
But
I don't understand, or being born a woman is not a choice. I don't understand why we have an all gender bathroom. That's just one of the things.
No, I get that.
And another thing is, on paperwork, the question is, what do you want to be identified as? And with the new rights that they have, you can't call them a him if that's what they were born as, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they want to be identified as a female, then you have to do that. Well, which is fine, but I'm still stuck on the all gender bathroom.
I feel like with me, I'll call you whatever you want to be called. I'll identify you as whatever you want to be identified as. I just don't agree that the fight is equal.
No,
so
it's
I
not.
feel like the LGBTQ family, they have a right to fight for their rights and fight for the equality, because everybody has their own freedom of choice to do what you want to do, and you should not be harassed or beaten or abused or anything for that. However, you are fighting your own unique fight, and me as a black woman and my black people, in my opinion, are fighting a whole different fight. So when it comes to that LGBTQ and them identifying as the brown fight and the black fight, I don't agree with that, because I definitely believe that it needs to remain separate. Period. And it's two separate battles.
Right.
Period.
For sure.
So I definitely agree with that. And I do have a problem with a man going into a woman's bathroom and a woman going into a man's bathroom for a lot of reasons.
A lot.
Now,
Multiple.
if you choose to undergo the surgeries and do what you have to do to change your sexuality completely, in a lot of instances you can tell, a lot of instances you can't. But for reasons of harassment and being beaten and things like that, I understand that if you have changed your entire gender and you're now a man, you definitely need to use that man's bathroom, or else you're going to get harassed going into a woman one. And if you're a man who has completely transitioned into a woman, then you need to use a woman's bathroom, because you will get harassed. So I understand that. However, if you're still a man, you don't need to be in a woman's bathroom, and if you're still a woman, you don't need to be in a man's bathroom.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you feel
Now, can I
uncomfortable
ask a
going
question
into
before
any
y'all
of
move
those,
forward?
then go into a family restroom. Go
No,
to the family one.
Exactly.
But
even yet and still, I think it should be, if y'all want to have a bathroom, they should have their own bathroom.
It should be called the
for
transgender bathroom.
But I have a
here's
question.
the problem
Let's
with
go
that.
back before we go there. I just want to ask y'all this, because she said something about you not being born gay. So I want to go back to that, because like I was saying about my friend, she said
Well,
she
I
always.
didn't
But
say,
wait a minute, hold on. You did say that.
Okay, well, let me correct
you said
it.
you're not born that way.
No, you're not born to transgender. And let me specify what I mean about
that's
transgender.
why I was asking you for
Because
clarification. Are we
most
talking
of the
about
transgenders, or
gay?
maybe I'm not. Most of the ones that I've interacted with, when they call themselves transgender, they get boob implants, but they still have a penis. So
Right, but
you're
do you
not
guys
a
think
female.
that people? I want to ask a question. Do you guys think that people can be born gay?
Absolutely.
Or
I
do you
absolutely
that it's a
think
choice?
that-
I
Because-
think they can be.
Because I just want to make my statement, because I watched.
I think they could be born gay,
What's
and
his
I
name?
think
His name
most
is
of them are.
the one that
choice
does all the interviews. He does for
Jason.
No, not Jason. He's the one that did for. He used to do for Perez Hilton.
Oh,
Okay.
Y'all remember him? Okay.
Right.
He used to do all the little interviews and stuff, and so he made a good point about who wants to be really like ridiculed, who wants to go through all of that, who wants
People who want attention.
Right. Thank
So
you.
That does happen.
So you think that people want to be gay?
Nope, that's two different
No,
things.
but that's what I'm saying, because he said that as being a gay man, like
That is what you go through.
He was making a point that because they were saying that born gay or not born gay, and he was saying as a man, he would never want to just be gay and go through all the shit that he went through. If he could be straight, you know what I mean?
Well, I personally
So that's
believe that
what
you
I wanna
can
know.
be born gay. I
So that's
definitely
my
believe that you
question.
can be born gay. And it's also been scientifically proven that you can be
Right.
born gay. And it's a known fact that people are born hermaphrodites, which is a person
That
with
has
both
two
sexes,
parts.
both genitalia and everything else. So I think there's too much evidence leading towards higher testosterone levels, higher estrogen levels in males, testosterone in women,
But
and
a
things like
hermaphrodite
that.
is not the same.
That prove
That's
No.
not the same.
I named 3 different things. I said hermaphrodites.
I know,
There's
but a
people with
hermaphrodite
higher.
is separate.
It doesn't matter. There's
It
hermaphrodites.
does matter.
There's no, because you're not letting me finish.
Okay, go ahead and
There's
finish.
hermaphrodites.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
men who are born with higher estrogen levels, and there's women that are born with higher testosterone levels, and different things like that are scientifically proven that people can be born both gender and can be born basically transgender technically, depending on what organ they choose to dominate, and
Right,
what
that's
organ
the
they choose to
hermaphrodite.
with. And then there's gay and lesbians, gay males that are born with higher estrogen levels and things like that prove that they will have a higher attraction to men and different things like that because of
The
different things with
testosterone or the
science,
estrogen
just like
levels.
women have higher testosterone levels and things like that trigger them to be attracted to other women. So there's a lot of reasons why I do feel like some are born gay and lesbian, but I also feel like a lot of it is a choice too. Some are born like that way, and some it is a choice.
And I
Some
feel-
do go with the fad, some do go with the flow.
I feel like
And
it's
although-
trendy, and that's what people are jumping
So
on. The
how
trend
do-
of
I
being
think that
gay,
too, especially
the
the
trend
girls,
of being gay,
especially
right?
the girls, for
and
sure.
Yeah.
right. And what are you
Especially
teaching
girls,
your
for
kids?
sure. They just doing,
They're,
but
their kids are gonna be confused. Like, it's not okay, and I'm not saying somebody can't be born gay, because there are definitely people that are. But I'm saying right now, today, 2021, I just feel like it's trendy to be like that, and that's what most people are doing. And I still don't have a problem with that. My thing was the same bathrooms, all gender bathrooms.
So you're more speaking of transgender.
Right, and then, on questionnaires, because I've been to a lot of places, what do you identify yourself as? What do you want to be most comfortable called? And if somebody chooses not to call them that, then that's a problem. Like, you can't force...
you could get arrested.
Right, that's not okay. That's not the same type of discrimination as the Black people went through for the civil rights movement, and that we still go through. So
why are they comparing?
It's
right.
I think it's definitely there's argument is way too different things.
Right.
I don't want to be added to the flag. I don't want anything like that, because to me it's way too different fights.
And it's to the point now you can't say nothing about it. Period.
And that's
like
cool.
You do like comedians. They say stuff about Black people. They say stuff about white people. They say stuff about special ed people, but the moment you start talking about
LGBTQ community, oh my God,
they want you to come out and apologize.
I have a huge problem with that.
And
that's bullshit.
And you know what else is bullshit?
That is bullshit.
This new thing that's called straight. Why in the hell?
What
there's a new thing out right now with especially men, where you have to say are you straight or are you straight?
Oh, right.
So now we're getting to the point where you can't even be. You can't just say you straight anymore. You have to say you straight as is there some type of in between.
Strictly dickly. Hello.
What's just straight? But she's talking about for the males.
No, for the males too. Like, if you just straight, you straight, but are you straight? Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, am I straight on the weekends? Am I straight during the day? What are you supposed to mean?
That's that weird shit.
And I definitely have a huge problem with it, because I feel like as straight people, we cannot preach and bleed anything about being straight. We can't praise our straight men. We can't praise our families or anything like that without the LGBT community becoming offended by it.
Right.
Not all of them, but if we even say, oh my God, that's a beautiful couple. Oh, well, would you be saying that if that was a gay couple? Like, it's a whole battle. It's a whole thing.
The same thing.
And you're not going to tell me that it's you're not going to tell me my lifestyle is not okay, but yours is.
Right.
So it's like the LGBT community wants to always fight for equal rights and things like that, and make everything about your sexual preference, when a lot of times it's not like that. It has nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
And you're not going to make me feel bad for praising my man and my husband or my children who are straight men or anything else, just like I'm not going to make you feel bad for choosing to be, or not choosing, but for being gay or living in the lifestyle, whatever lifestyle you choose to live in. So I just want the same, I want the same respect. I want the same respect. I feel like a straight man should be okay being a straight man and parading around his masculinity or whatever you want to call it without him being ostracized and being called a bigot and everything else, because he doesn't flame your gayness. And what I mean by that, there was a man, I won't say his name, but there was a man who was ostracized. He was a straight man, and he was ostracized because he didn't want to kiss a gay male for a movie. There's nothing wrong with that. If that is a straight man and he's serious about his sexual preference, he should not be ostracized or kick off shows or anything else for refusing to kiss a man. Just like if a gay man doesn't want to kiss a woman in a movie, he's not going to be ostracized. So this is another thing where we're going into all these things and these different topics where it's always a double standard.
And that's what I wanted to ask you guys, because I had lost my train of thought, but I wanted to ask you that just to go back to that, because you were talking about the being born and all that. But how does that go? I mean, we don't want to get really too biblical, but I just want to know, how do you feel about that, like as far as what the Bible says about being gay and stuff, and then people being born gay?
Right.
How does that happen? So if the Bible is against it on this end, and Christianity and all that is against it on this end, but then I really feel like some people are really born like that. How do y'all feel like that goes together? Like, what is wrong with, how come that person was born like that if the biblical way says it's not right?
Okay, let me go ahead, and I speak fluent hand, just so y'all know, because I'm just animated. Okay, boom, boom, boom. But okay, I would like to say this, like in nature, right, in the animal kingdom, if the animal is born gay, or there's some type of imbalance, that animal is gonna die off. You get what I'm saying? Because the whole purpose of a man and a woman is to reproduce, to have offspring.
Right.
If you can't do that, then biologically, it's not.
You can't say that, because there's a lot of unisex animals and stuff like that.
Okay,
but that's so that you can't really use that as an analogy.
Well, no, I'm just saying, in nature, do you see a gay lion? Do you see a gay horse?
But how would you know? That's not really a good analogy.
It is, because
man is over animals, so it's not like you don't really know.
We're still animals. I just feel like that is like a mental defect. respect. You know, that is a mental health issue. That's just how I feel.
I don't.
When it comes to biblical,
I don't think it's a mental issue.
I don't know how to answer that question.
I'm gonna say this.
It's a chemical imbalance.
I don't even have
I really don't either, but it's a chemical imbalance.
You know, how does that work?
I'm gonna say this. When it
don't.
comes to the Bible, like when you were asking about the Bible, when it comes to the Bible, I haven't studied the Bible enough to really break it down to that extent to understand what they mean by that. However, let me finish. Every time the Bible talks about things of that nature, about homosexuality and things of that nature, he's always talking about being unclean and being lustful, and then that goes into man being with man and things like that.
It's a sexual deviant behavior. It's a sexual deviant behavior
that takes place in lustful circumstances where people are committing multiple sexual sins. So when he talks about sexual sins, he's not just talking about man and woman and woman. He's talking about man with woman and defiling the bodies and having orgies and not being married and all different kind of things. So until you break it down and really go through the Bible and really have a complete understanding of what it is, I don't think nobody here is capable of speaking on interpreting what is meant. Because just like things in the Bible change from the Old Testament to the New Testament. So it's like when you think about that, and when he's constantly talking about orgies and sexual sins and things like that, not really talking about a one-on-one relationship, he's talking about lustful deviant behavior, which applies to unmarried couples. Is really hard for me to say that he specifically said a man and a man can't marry, or a woman and a woman can't marry.
I just feel like you can't use that because you cannot.
It does say man should not lie with man. That's what it does say.
But in the Bible, it also says that if you can be strong enough and not fall for lust and temptation, that you shouldn't marry at all. But you should marry. Yeah, he told David that. But you should marry.
But I don't even want to talk about the Bible.
No, but that was just a question.
Well, that's what it goes by. Because if you're a Christian and you live by the Bible,
because it's almost
you shouldn't drink. You shouldn't smoke. You shouldn't do a whole bunch of things.
No. I'm just saying, we shouldn't do a lot of shit, right?
So I guess my question would be in this conversation: do you think that being gay and lesbian is a sin?
I'm not, I'm not God, so I don't want to answer that.
I do.
I just feel like it's not biologically right because you can't reproduce. So that's just how I feel about it.
Do I think being gay is a sin? I think it is being a sin. But do I think having sex without being married is a sin? Yes, I think that's a sin too. Do I think that, cheating on your husband, that's a sin too. So we're all guilty of sins. You know what I'm saying? Right. But then they do say, which I don't want to get all into that because we're not talking about religion, but they also say that that's abomination, which is an unforgiven sin. Mm-hmm. They say that is abomination and
blasphemy.
Blasphemy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is abomination. Those are two sins. But I
can personally voice my opinion, but I can't understand. I haven't studied the Bible enough to really.
I've never been able to understand because I really feel like people are born gay.
Not all of them, though.
No, not all people. But because
we're just queer fit in. Because if you're lesbian,
some people,
and then bisexual, and then gay and queer, like, okay, the bisexual and queer, like, okay, what are y'all doing?
I just feel like bisexual people are
it's not weird, but
people. And they like to just
lust. They just like pleasure. Yeah, they're in it for the pleasure.
Right.
And whoever can provide that pleasure and whatever they're. But see, that's supposed to be a sin too.
Right. All
that's
of that.
what I'm saying. So like when you say, that's what I'm saying. So in the Bible it talks about sexual immorality, immortality, and I will
talk about the Bible, y'all.
I will, but we're not off topic because we're talking about gays and lesbians and stuff like that. But what I will do is I will get that verse because it does talk about it is better for man to be alone. But if he falls victim to lust, then he should marry. He said that to David. So I will find that, and I will point that out because I don't study the Bible like that, but I know that much.
I'm not saying that it's not in there. I'm just saying I don't recall reading it. And me personally, I've read the whole Old Testament. I haven't read. No, I take that back. I read the whole New Testament. I went to the New Testament first because that's what we're supposed to be living in. So I read the New Testament first, and then I went to the Old Testament. And I haven't made it all the way through, but
so we did get off track.
Let's go back to that.
But I do feel like the LGBTQ community is very sensitive and hypersensitive and overly sensitive
That's the word.
when it comes to society. I do feel like they try to make everything an attack on them. You can attack a person for their individual behaviors, and if they're gay, it becomes a hate crime.
Absolutely.
That's a problem for me. That's a problem for me.
Has nothing to do with their sexual preference. Why I don't
right.
like you.
And there was a situation on.
There
was a situation on. It was a reality show. It was Miami, Love and Hip Hop Miami, where there was a.
Miami. Who's on this one?
There was a gay male on there. I won't say his name, but there was a gay There was a gay male on there that got kicked out of the club and some other things, and he tried to classify it as a hate crime. However, another cast member was there. Remember, the other cast member was there, and she clearly stated that it had nothing to do with that. That he was being disrespectful. They talked about it on the reunion. That he was being disrespectful. That he was jumping up in people's face, getting up twerking and doing it. He was way over the top. So it's like, what I'm saying is stop. There are LGBTQs that really are fighting for a justified fight because they do receive a lot of hate, harassment, and things like that. However, there are a lot of people that are taking advantage of it, that are hiding under the but there are a lot of people that are hiding behind that umbrella and behaving inappropriately. And because they're gay, they're tagging it as a hate crime. Now all of a sudden you gotta have public apologies. People are making regular jokes, like you said, at the comedy club.
Like you can't say shit.
It happened to Kevin Hart.
You can't say shit.
Kevin Hart made a joke way early in his career. It was a joke he was joking about everybody else. This is a man that cracks jokes about his family on all his shows.
Everything.
But as soon as he cracks a light joke about a gay person, all of a sudden he's being ostracized. We have to stop that. And another thing we have to stop is people that are gay and lesbians and transgender from thinking it's okay to hit on straight males and females and not tell them. And then when the person responds in a different light, they get offended. That is not okay. Because you cannot say you liked me until you found out I was a woman. No, I would have never been attracted to you or entertained you if I would have known that. So that's another thing. The fact that they're thinking it's okay to portray this man or this woman without telling the person that they're about to be intimate with the truth. That's a problem.
That'll get you fucked up.
That's a problem for me, and it's not okay. And for people to think that they can start a relationship and pursue people and live that type of lifestyle and not tell the other person until they like 6-9 months deep, already tricked them into bed and all that, and then get mad when they're ready to leave, that's a problem for me, because now you emasculated a man or desensitized a woman by portraying to be something else, and now that person is going to have to be ostracized and called gay and go through all of those things even when they're not. So that's a problem for me. Them double standards.
I actually know about somebody that was hanging out with a trainee, whatever you want to call them. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but whatever the little thing the person was.
Well, because there's like transsexual,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. That's
you don't
what
know
I'm saying.
how they identify.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But it was a he portraying to be a she.
A he, she.
Okay. And he was hanging out with this dude. And this dude is a well-known gang member. And it wasn't like they was messing around, but this was like his homegirl.
Right.
Hanging out. And then they find out that this is a real, really a nigga.
Natural man.
And now they're looking at him like, but he didn't know. And now they're looking at him like he gay, he knew. And he never even did nothing with him, but they still looking at him like
I'll say this much. I don't feel like he necessarily had to tell him he was born a man if they're just friends. I feel like that conversation happens.
I think he still should.
I think that conversation happens if you guys are going to be around each other intimately or changing clothes in front of each other.
You gotta respect. You should let a person know who and what they're dealing with.
If you ride around with it, to me, I would feel some type of way too.
I would too.
Especially being the type of man that he is.
I would feel some type of way because of what I might have to deal with.
And that's what I mean.
I want to be prepared in that case.
That wasn't fair to him.
But to me, that's not as bad as if you laying in the bed kissing me,
that
hugging me,
wasn't
sleeping
fair
with
to
me.
him though. You know what I mean? Because he had to deal with that type of stuff. And then what I also got a problem with is these men that is acting like women. That want to fight these women like they really women.
Please stop.
Please
stop. And that is so popular. Don't think because you're gay, you are still a physical man and you are still physically strong.
Right.
So, and that's another problem that I have.
That is what I have a problem with.
Because to me, that's a double standard too. Because if a straight man gets at you like that, and because you're a man, That's an evil grounds. Now, nobody should be fighting. Nobody should be having those
we're not
physical
promoting violence.
altercations. I don't condone that at all. However, if a gay man has an altercation with a straight man, it's still a fair fight. When a gay man is out here having altercations with straight women, that's a problem. You're still a grown-ass man. You're still physically built and born stronger than a woman. So you should not be engaging in any type of physical confrontation with a woman. Period. Not an argument, not all this and all that. You're still a man. Now, if a woman puts her hands on you and you're defending yourself, that's different. Because if a woman puts herself in a man's position, hey now. But when you're a grown man, gay, and you throwing drinks at a woman in club and doing all this and all that, that's not right. And I'm not saying that you represent the whole LGBT community. I'm not generalizing you guys at all, but these are things that happen that people don't think is a big deal. But if a straight man is throwing a drink or something at a woman, then he's going to jail, he's losing careers, he's doing all this. However, a gay man could do it all day. That's a problem for me. And stop acting like it's not okay to be straight. Period. Stop doing that. Y'all want us to always accept y'all as being gay, accept y'all for identifying as what you want to identify as and all that. But a lot of you, not all of you, a lot of you though, when we say, oh no, I'm straight, I'm not dealing with that. You know, a lot of you guys want to flirt and test people and all this and all that. And then you get your feelings hurt and it's a hate crime. When they get offended and respond adversely. Just like you want to be respected as gay, lesbian, transgender, non-identified and all of that. We want to be respected as straight. And that is okay. That's okay. So all I'm saying is stop with the double standards. Give the same respect you deserve for the lifestyle that you're living in your fight. Give me the same respect. Whether I'm fighting my black fight or my straight fight or whatever the case may be. Give me that same respect, just like I'm gonna respect you.
Freaking same.
It's not. Period. That was my whole argument. So
it's not the same.
I need y'all to be clear on
that.
It's
not the same.
We need to draw crystal clear lines. It is not compared to the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement. No, baby, I'm sorry.
Now let's talk about this. I know you're the host, but do you mind if I ask a question?
By all means, take the floor.
So what about?
I kind of have a little problem with it.
How do you got? You do?
Yeah, a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay, well go ahead, Becky.
Becky, she's the one who said she
got a problem with it, so I'm gonna go ahead.
A problem with what?
I had a question. Well, I'm gonna still ask my question. What y'all think about the TV stuff?
Oh, girl.
What TV?
I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't care because everybody has a right to express themselves, so I'm cool with that. Okay. I mean, you know, that comes, a parent needs to censor what their children watching. If you're not okay with your kids watching
you can't really censor it though because
they
it's
put
in
this on. They put it on.
They put it on every.
It definitely is. Okay. I watched a Target commercial not that long ago. Listen, I watched a Target commercial.
I don't have little kids.
I watched a Target commercial, right? Not that long ago, and the Target commercial had 3 children interchanging all the same clothes.
Oh, okay.
The boys were wearing the pink outfits with the girl outfits, and it was basically making it all one sex, one gender.
Now y'all giving me a headache with that. No,
for me, that's a bit much. I feel like it's overkill. I feel like in television and in mainstream, you see more of that lifestyle than you see the straight lifestyle. And I feel like
you're right.
And I feel like for a man, a young male or a young woman to feel ashamed to be straight is a problem. And I feel like that's what's happening. I feel like it's moving away from equality and going reverse to where you're almost ashamed to be straight and you feel like you have to carry yourself as if you are a part of that lifestyle in order not to be considered gay bashing or sexist being a phobic or things like that. I feel like that's a big problem as well.
Right, it's like being force-fed,
Definitely do. And it's just like you say, you gay, you proud, I should be able to say I'm straight, I'm proud, and it should not be.
And they're showing favoritism in a lot of ways, and that's why people aren't comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped watching, I'm not gonna.
I feel like it's over. I feel like it's definitely overkill.
Yeah, but it's just like, come on, y'all doing way too much.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's making it okay because I think like when we were younger, it talks about like you're gonna see more of it, this and that. But when we were younger, it wasn't like that okay for people to be gay, right?
Right.
So I feel like people they might have had some tendencies, and they maybe suppressed a little bit because of how they were going to be looked at and how they were going to be judged. But now it's just everywhere. It's promoted, everywhere. Every show now,
it's
even
promoted to the
TV,
point and so overkill.
They have to have a transgender What's up with that?
Well,
for like the straight guys.
Well,
like,
even in Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry shows, there's a show called The Oval, where the president's wife is played by a transgender woman.
Okay. See, and now, but see, now you're putting that actor.
I cannot.
You know, there's just
y'all got to stop.
It's just a lot of weird stuff to me. I think it really is.
I just feel like the world is trying to kill the family, trying to kill the traditional family, and trying to push this narrative of nobody identifying as anything, and that's a problem.
Are they really promoting it in the black and brown community?
No matter what,
it's making people okay with it and making people want to try.
It's normalizing it.
It's normalizing
brainwashing these young people.
It is.
If you don't, you know what I mean. You guys are watching this and you making it normal.
And it's not just the fact that it's that. But it's not just that. It's the overly sex.
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
Shows with even straight teens having sex and kids experimenting and cartoons filled with pedophilia.
Yeah,
and I know that's going a little off topic,
no, it's
but
not. It's
just as far as like what they're feeding us
it's the truth.
is not
making it okay for
my
people
son
to try this.
Is always going to know that it is okay to be a man, a masculine man.
Period.
And if he chooses to be gay, then that's a different thing.
Period, but it's a choice. You heard her. If he chooses,
no, don't do that. Don't do that because I do believe people are born.
I do too, but I'm saying,
but don't say it's a choice.
It is for a lot of people because you choose to be bisexual. I'm sorry, I just have a problem with that. I mean, I just like that as a choice because you don't. You know, that's just my opinion. But you know, I'm opinionated, so I'm just gonna say that.
But how can you say? But how can you say that you're born gay and then say you chose it? That doesn't make sense.
Because everybody's not born gay. I don't feel like everybody is genuinely born gay. So I don't feel like that.
And then somebody told me this. I don't know about this. Somebody told me this that if you have a set of identical twins and one twin is gay, the other twin has to be gay too.
No, that sounds.
And I was just like, I don't
feel like everybody's not born gay.
Well, because identical twins just means the egg split.
They said that they was in psychology.
Identical twins though just means the egg split.
Well, it is
that
that
has
they're
nothing
born
to
gay.
do
That
with
is true because I learned that in sociology.
That's
what they said.
That
If you're born
to
gay,
do.
it has to do with the chemical imbalance.
Same thing.
And you have more estrogen in you.
But an identical twin is when an egg splits. That has nothing to do with how much estrogen and testosterone you're gonna get.
That determines
the sperm determines the sex.
But even if it has to do with it, because I could quote me on this because I will go dig up my sociology books and go ahead and caption this for y'all because I did learn that some people are born gay. They definitely are, but the majority of people are not. I'm just saying.
We're talking about twins.
Well, we're talking about twins.
You know about identical twins.
Okay, well, we need a doctor. Could a doctor chime in on this because we need help to clarify this. Yeah, we need a psychologist, a sociologist, a doctor, mental health professional. Can y'all go ahead and enlighten us and enlighten the people? Because I feel like, yes, if one is gay, born genuinely gay, not choosing to be gay, let's clarify that, yes, they both would have to be. But that's just my opinion. Can I have a doctor, a professional chime in, correct me if I'm wrong, or let us know.
Here's my question, and I don't know if this goes with your topic or not, but here's my question that I've always wondered. I've always wondered when a person feels like they have to undergo surgery to become who God made them.
That's not right.
God don't make mistakes. Let me finish. Why would you do that?
Oh, go ahead. God don't make mistakes. I just have to
So here's my thing. Well, I've already told her this, so she felt like she had to do that. Let her have her shine, her light. But my thing is, if you have to undergo surgeries and many procedures to become who you claim God knows you were and God knows who you are, then if He knew all of that, why weren't you born that gender initially?
Amen to that.
So if one person, if a transgender, I believe that's the right term, a transgender, somebody who underwent the surgery to become the opposite sex. How can you say in the same sentence that God doesn't make mistakes?
Right.
If you had to alter your entire gender physically to become that person.
I agree.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. That is $1 million question.
I absolutely agree. Now, do you guys feel different about gay men versus lesbian women?
I don't. A lot of people do, and I think that that's foul as hell that they do.
Right, it's the same.
But I don't. If you're sleeping with the same sex, you're sleeping with the same sex, period. It doesn't, I don't think that people should differentiate or antagonize or attack
right.
men, and then don't attack, and then glorify women and want to see them in
because
action.
that's the way it is.
Right. Yeah, that's
women
dead ass
are
wrong.
Okay, but the men are just
that's dead ass wrong.
It's all the same.
You either accept it all or you accept none.
Right.
That's
Well, it's
dead
not
ass
about
wrong.
accepting, because I definitely don't have an issue with gay people or transgender.
That sounds like I don't have an issue with black people. I
Well,
hate when
see,
people
don't
say it
say
like that.
Well, what do you want me to say then?
Well, what I'm saying is if
How do
what
I say
I'm
that
saying is if
politically
you're gonna
correct?
accept, what I'm saying it doesn't make sense to accept a gay man and not accept a gay woman and vice versa. That's my point.
But I can accept you.
people
I don't
do
have
it.
to
These
like it
men
or
do it all
condone
the
it.
time.
Yeah, you either
these men
accept
do it all the
homosexuality as a
time.
whole or you don't. And
But when
they
you
definitely
say
do. And
accept
women
it-
do too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
do too.
women will accept
And
a
I'm
gay
gonna be honest
daughter
with you.
before
Right,
they'll
and
accept a
that's
gay
messed up.
son.
That's
I'll
not
be
right.
honest with you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's not right. That's not
honestly,
okay.
I might be a little guilty of it because I think I would feel a little different.
You know why?
Because I
feel like us, because how we feel
I
about
have
masculinity,
sons, right, I
that
have
plays a huge
sons,
role into
and
it.
I have daughters. And I will feel very brokenhearted if my sons. I'm sorry.
But why would
No,
that
there's
break your
nothing wrong
heart?
with
That's
that.
how I would
and
feel.
that's the thing, and that's what I hate. I
I
hate that
will feel.
that society has made you feel like you have to apologize
I feel
for that.
like
You don't have to apologize
I
for
feel
that.
like I would be very devastated if one of my sons were gay.
Versus
Why
your
would you
daughter.
be devastated though?
Because I don't want my son to be gay. I had
Why?
a boy, and I want my son to be a fucking man. That's just how I feel.
Want him to
So
be a
basically-
husband
want him to
with
be-
a
to be-
natural
yeah.
husband with a natural
But-
wife
and
with
to be able
natural
to have-
children.
Right, have
Okay,
kids,
right,
and
okay.
carry on his last name.
Right.
You know, and that's what I want. And you know, I
Right.
wouldn't want my girls, but unfortunately, yeah. I mean, my daughter
Okay,
has.
so
And
then-
I'm not. It's not unfortunate. That's what she likes.
Right, so let me
Right.
ask you this then. Since you feel that strongly about the boys, do you feel like gay people should be able to adopt kids then? Same-sex male relationships and same-sex women. Do
I
you feel
think
like
that-
that's cool?
Honestly, I don't think that. I don't like the way that looks.
I don't, and I'm
I don't
gonna tell
like
you
the way that
why.
looks.
Okay.
I
don't-
don't like the way it looks.
I don't like that for reason we discussed
Agreed.
earlier.
Mm-mm.
I feel like I feel like some gay and lesbian couples push that
Promote
lifestyle
that,
on
absolutely.
straight children who
And
are
that's not
already
fair.
traumatized from that. So I feel like there's not a balance. If you grow up in a straight household, it's kind of like a natural order where you're just living life on a daily basis. But I feel like in some gay and lesbian households, they're pushing that lifestyle
Absolutely.
on those children and not really sharing the straight lifestyle with them of the traditional man, woman, and child household.
Exactly.
So
wanna
that's
say-
when I feel like it becomes
Right.
a choice.
And I just want to say this about that as well. Now, do y'all feel like, okay, so this is how, and I'm not saying everybody, my fluent hand again, okay? And I'm not saying everybody chooses to be gay, but I feel like there's a lot of things that may go into it as far as people being sexually abused as children.
Well, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
Can I get the whole sentence
Yes, you
out
can. I'm
completely?
sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Now, do you guys feel like if a child is sexually abused, right? You know, obviously as a child, you know, a female being sexually abused by a man, that they would have more inclination to be a gay female.
Well, I feel like sexual abuse causes people to respond in all different ways.
Right.
I think that is one of many ways,
Absolutely.
but I
I
think
do too.
that
I
more
just-
often than that is sexual promiscuity. I think that a lot of times they have either closed up all the way, they become overly sexual and things
Or
like
they
that.
just shut
There,
down.
to me, when people are sexually abused, that's a whole different subject for a whole nother day, because
But no, I'm
there's
just
so
saying,
many
I feel
different.
like that
I
may
do
play
feel like that's
into-
one thing.
Exactly.
Because of you've been hurt, you've been pained,
Right.
you've been disrespected, and you've been violated sexually. And I do feel like that does make people gay and lesbian, especially
Absolutely.
if they've been sexualized by that.
Absolutely.
Because it is a proven fact that there are certain pleasure points that, regardless of whether you're in violation or not, that once certain areas are fondled with by certain things,
then you're comfortable
it
with that. That's what I was
creates
getting at.
not really comfortable, but it
Because
creates
comfort.
a desire.
That's what
Yeah.
you're
You
used
desire
to.
that
Right.
because that's all you
That's
know.
what you know.
So I will say
And
that
you stay in
much.
your comfort zone. So meaning, like, if a little boy is sexually abused by a man, he might be more inclined to grow up and only deal with men.
Yeah.
And then if a small girl is sexually abused by a man, you know, maybe she might be turned off completely by men, and she might want to
Especially
go.
if she was
Especially if
hurt.
she haven't dealt with it. and she
Especially-
That's
was
what I'm
hurt.
saying.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
might be
You
more
know what
I agree with
comfortable
that.
dealing with women.
I agree
Or
with
if
that.
a little girl was molested by a woman, would she You know what I'm saying?
Or you become over-sexual.
Absolutely.
So I definitely agree with that.
Okay.
I definitely agree with
Y'all
that.
talk so much, I forgot what I was going to say.
I feel like this is a loaded conversation. I don't remember even half of it, but it was a lot. But I agree with you though. I am very, very serious about protecting men's sexuality, and that goes back to slavery when they were emasculated and raped in front of their families and different things like that. So my history has me very strongly opinionated on protecting our straight black men.
Really?
And I feel like they're promoting gay and all this stuff to, you know, degrade and tear down the black family and the black community. So,
but it's not just. It's
not
just.
But that's mostly what they show on TV. You see,
I will say, let me say this though.
You see way more black transgenders on TV than you see white.
No, let me say this though. This is when I can agree with her. When the HIV drug first came out, and they started playing the commercials. Everybody that was taking the HIV drug that was gay was a person of color. Period. Absolutely. So it does. The society does emphasize the homosexuality and that lifestyle in the colored community.
Absolutely.
That's a fact. Just go back and watch the first HIV drug. And it also implied that gay men of color get AIDS first and get HIV first.
Yeah, but that's a whole other subject too, because they said the percentage is high, but you gotta realize we are a lower percentage of people.
No, what I'm saying is the fact that but in the commercial, like why is it all black men and women that are gay for the HIV commercial?
Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't see white people.
Right. Yeah, and then people started noticing it, so then they put out this one that had like one with a Mexican.
No, I thought you were saying like you were. I misunderstood you. I thought y'all was saying like it was more statistics showing that.
No. This was a commercial. We're talking about what they promote on television. Right. Yeah, this was a commercial.
Right.
And I was just like, dang, no. So it ain't no white gay people, male or female with HIV. What's that about? Yeah, I don't like that. They did that too.
Right. That's all I wanted to say about it. And, you know, people feel free to chime in. I know we probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'm just
why can't I? And don't hate me.
Can we just say we're not discriminating against
and I won't hate you for yours.
No. Right, but we have an opinion and we should be entitled to have that. We live in America, freedom of speech, and we are practicing that. So don't take it personal. We don't hate anybody who's part of the LGBTQ
Make sure you say it right.
Right, did I say it right? LGBTQ. Okay, right. I got the letters right. Okay, yes. And you know, I'm not saying we don't support pride and all that good stuff, but I'm just saying we have an opinion.
And educate me. As a matter of fact, we're going to revisit this in the future.
Because you told me something.
And let's get a guest. Educate us. If you could sit down and have a great conversation with us.
It was a new term about some new...
What, queer? Because I don't know what
that is.
No,
it wasn't queer.
It was,
I still don't know what that is.
There's sapiosexual, there is,
I can't.
The ones that don't identify.
You know what? This is where I start getting a migraine and I just can't even, you know.
No, because there's a lot of things that you don't know
where
about.
Where do all these things come from? Like, somebody help me. Like, just no. How you gonna pop up with new sexual or gender terms fucking like in the Urban Dictionary, like slang language? Like, that's what? Like, what are we doing?
I will say in the community though, we're gonna revisit this, and I would love if you are not shy and if you are open, transgender or gay and lesbian, please chime in. Please, we would love to have you on our podcast because I am very open to a nice conversation without any interruptions. What I don't want to be open to is somebody that's gonna sorry guys. What I'm not open to is somebody that's going to come on and bash us and talk about. I want to have a conversation because if you could clarify some things to me about a lifestyle that I'm not familiar with, I'm open to it. I'm always ready to listen and learn. But you also have to be open to listen and learn from us and where we're coming from.
Right. And
whether we agree to disagree, it needs to be a healthy, productive learning conversation. Right. Period. No name calling, no disrespect, no nothing. She ain't gonna be saying he, she ain't gonna be doing all that. She gonna get it together. Gonna get it together.
But what about like the Bruce Jenner? You know,
girl, see now you want to give that's not okay.
No, listen. This is what confuses me about Caitlyn, excuse me, because I'm sorry, Bruce Jenner, because he doesn't like to be called. He's now Caitlyn.
Oh my God.
So Caitlyn,
I cannot.
What I just am a little confused about, not that he decided to change over to Caitlyn, but how do you?
That's why I say that's a choice. You straight for all them years and then you do that. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
wait. How are you a woman?
No, ma'am.
But then your kids are calling you dad, and the grandkids are calling you grandpa. But you're coming in like a woman. To me, that just confuses.
It's very confusing to small children. And it's like,
I'm a full-grown adult and I'm confused.
And to go back on the adoption stuff that we were talking about, that's what I was going to also say too, because that's sad in itself too, about the 2 men or 2 women raising the kids by them, you know.
I have to be honest, I promote traditional family.
Me too.
And not only that, but you know, you gotta realize these kids are already being adopted, so they're already gonna be broken when they get older.
And then you filling them up with this.
You see what I'm saying? They're already gonna be broken because they were already given away, so they're already gonna have some type of, you know, ill feelings and trauma that they're dealing with.
We have to have a part 2 on this.
On top of that, you growing up with an all-gay family that's not even really your fucking family.
Well, not just that. Get this, and this is why we have to have a part 2 on this later after we have some guests on the show.
In education.
How do you allow a child of 9 years old determine that they want to be the opposing sex?
I can't.
That's not
How
happening.
do you start a 9-year-old child on hormones
Give me strength,
and
Lord.
in therapy and determine that now this is a child that is in the system that has been abused and everything else? How do you let them convince you, attorney and a judge, to allow them to start taking hormones at 9 years old?
That's why we really.
So I have a lot of questions. So I really need a part 2. Hopefully we find transgenders and some people who are going to represent open. I prefer someone of color. From our own
That's
community.
like a 9-year-old taking birth control pills.
Well,
that's like a 9-year-old saying that they want to smoke weed or drink alcohol.
No, but I'm just saying with the hormones.
No, but this with the hormones though, no, it's not the same because this is a permanent.
Oh
this is permanent.
Well, alcohol can permanent.
Let me get
I know we running over, but we got to talk about a couple more things.
This is permanent because what you don't understand is I'm not comparing this to alcohol or drugs or anything like that, because what they did to this young man by allowing him to take estrogen at 9 years old and all the way up until and even now current day when he is a teenager, I won't go into his age or anything like that out of respect for privacy, but how do you allow somebody that's 9 years old, what when they hit puberty, you didn't understand, you hit puberty, no, you don't even have a change of heart, you realize who you are. How do you let somebody that 9 years old decide their gender, then when they turn 14 and decide that's not who they wanted to be, there's really no going back because they have 5 years plus, 6 years plus of estrogen now built up in their system, and they live this lifestyle in the system, still in the system to this day, to where if they were to try to convert, they wouldn't even know how to act. They wouldn't even know how to act.
True.
How do you take that back?
They
have rehab. They have rehab for alcohol and drugs and everything else. But when you've been physically changing, you now have breasts and everything else. How do you do that?
Right.
How do you do that?
Or vice versa. Your voice is starting to deepen. Starting to grow facial hair and stuff like that.
And
but do you guys? Okay,
that's
I know we gotta wrap it
issue,
up.
I feel like.
But what about the food? Because I remember hearing the food that we're eating.
Soy.
Not the soy, but listen, the chicken. Because like the chicken and stuff, I heard the chicken that they shoot up with the estrogen and they put all the hormones in the chicken. So I was listening to talk radio, and this was years ago, and I think it's really true because they put hormones in everything.
It plays a part,
and so much shit, and then that's why they were saying that the guys are starting to grow the man breasts
from soy milk,
because you getting that, or the men is getting the big booties now. The girls are starting their periods way earlier. You know what I'm saying? At one point it was 16, then it went down to 14,
in the food.
And then it went down to 12. You know what I mean? So do you guys think that the food can also, because it's true though.
It does, but I don't think that determines when you started. So a lot of women start their periods once they get over like 100 pounds and at a certain age. It's not always when you're a teenager, because children are heavier now. So there's girls that are under 100 pounds.
So I'm gonna be quiet.
So I mean,
no, but I definitely think it's in the food too. But I think
like,
a lot of different things factor into that. But definitely the food too.
Yeah,
right. It plays a part.
That's
definitely plays a part.
I just want to know, do you guys feel
soy.
like that? Does that make like men feel like a little bit more?
If we're pumping our men's food with estrogen,
right, and then you don't have a strong fucking
all of a sudden
male
he's
role
crying
model.
and don't know why.
Right, and then you don't have a strong male role model in the household. Yeah,
get
absolutely.
the antibiotics, free.
So basically, get organic. Okay.
Yes.
Right. That part.
All
right.
Well, that was a nice conversation. So, wrapping it up.
Mouth
so reckless. Until next time.
Bye bye. And I do not feel good.
You gotta do my episode.
Yeah, girl,
I'm gonna do yours. Okay, damn.
All three.
I'm so tired of y'all attacking.